Alright, our story begins with the Arduino Nano. When I was doing a speed test on the back end to see how fast the serial connect would work and how fast I could exchange data with the ATmega 328, we discovered a problem, and that was you couldn't get over 115-200 baud on the connect, and found the problem was the RX and TX LEDs on the board have to be removed, if not just lifted. Good luck lifting them. I just removed mine off because there's no sense in watching an RX and TX on a Arduino Nano. The reason why is because the original Nano, the Arduino Nano, this one right here, when they do the connect, they use the FT232, if I remember right, FT232 something, and it has its own separate LED drivers for the TX and RX LEDs. But for the aftermarket version 3s with the ch340, you'll be encountering the speed issue on the RX and TX lines. And this is all due to, like I said, the LEDs right here that are put in line with the TX and RX are acting as they're acting as interference. They're interfering with the transmission of 115-200 and higher baud rates going to the ATmega 328p. So like I said, simply removing the LEDs was my quickest solution, and I had no problem pushing it all the way to 3.9 million bits per second. But I got mine running at 2 million bits per second right now. The Nano, which originally was locked at 115-200, and the problem was that the Connect would work fine, the serial interface would work just okay, but any data that was being sent just wasn't being received by the ATmega. It just completely ignored. So that was the symptom. We could, connect. It would say, "Hey, connected," and then you'd send your data, and it would just act like you weren't there. So that's because of the LEDs on the TX and RX transmission line going between the ch340G and the 328P. So just in case if you're wondering, if you ever tried to run one of these units, aftermarket units on a high speed, this unit particularly, if you're going to run at high speed, 115, like I said, I'm running at 2 million bits per second, which is the highest I think is the setting as far as Arduino's setting takes. In other words, the serial interface, you can go all the way to 2 megabits per second, if I remember right. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but all I could tell you is that by simply removing the RX and TX LEDs off the board on the right hand side right here, by removing the TX and RX LEDs, no problem transmitting at 2 million baud on this Arduino Nano. So in case anybody ever runs into a problem where they're having a transmission issue and they can't get over 115-200, go into an aftermarket or version 3 Nano with a 340 in chain, or in tandem with it, just remove the RX and TX LEDs off the board. It's not hard. Like I said, it took roughly about a minute per LED, 2 minutes per LED. You got to heat them up pretty good because they're glued on there, and then pop them off. But no problems getting the transmission speed to the LCD with the SPI. Works great. So like I said, just with that one little minor mod, this board will go super speed. Like I said, I had no problem. It 3.9 or 3.9 million bits per second going to it, or baud, 2 million baud going to it, or I should say 3.9 million baud going to it, but I'd say 2 million baud's well within just reason. It works just fine. I'm impressed with this Nano. I really am. There's plenty of bandwidth on it. So, like I said, the program to test it works great. I'm very happy with it. Other than that, like I said, just be reminded the RX and TX LEDs are going to have to be desoldered if you're going to want to run this thing at super high interconnect speeds as far as serial interface wise. In other words, if you're going pretty fast. I'm impressed. Like I said, it's really quick. So anywho, like I said, Red Green Show. Go watch it. And like I said, this aftermarket one with a 340, by simply removing the LEDs off of the TX and RX lines, going to the Atmega will solve your problem. In fact, when I noticed when I was uploading sketches to it, the sketches were uploading a lot faster too. So, let me know, what you find, what y'all find when it comes to that, But I had no problem. My sketches uploaded a lot faster once I got the TX and RX LEDs off. Desoldered. It was happy. You could break them off, but I wouldn't do that. Desoldering is the proper way to do it. And no, we don't want to see a TX and RX LED transmissions. If you want that, use the Arduino Uno. Does a good job. Or if not, just, make. You'll have to come up with your own. Let's put it this way. You'll have to feed these TX and RX lines via, dual gate MOSFET or transistor to an LED, and that would work just fine. A high impedance, circuit would let you do it. Like I said, I'm an electronics person, so, but other than that, I just leave them free. The 1K resistor going between the 340 and the 328 seems to do just fine. Anywho, like I said, if you're having speed problems, higher than 115-200 baud, that's what we ran into. We went 230, 400 baud, and it started going gibberish on us. So anywho, and like I said, nice board, and I like how they, like I said, super fast speed. This one here seems, I've had, like I said, 2 million baud. That's awesome. Trying to run a 595 attached to a 20x4 LCD, with the blue and white text on it's just priceless. Anywho, peace out.